Well, hello everyone. From what I understand, this should be a pretty clear shot straight to the ending. And a bit of trouble with the boss immediately preceding this, but hopefully things go a little smoother for the ending. I guess let's get in game, if nothing else. The big news for everyone who missed last stream. You can pick up the cat now. I don't know if my cats would like being picked up that specific way, but he seems fine with it. Oh, whoops. You could barely see any of that, because I was in the way, wasn't I? Let's do it again. And I guess since we're gonna go, like, straight into the ending, let's just go ahead and put the mask on. Oh, thank you for the super chat. The Great Fezzo. I usually have to catch these via VOD due to my work schedule, so I'm quite pleased to be in attendance again, oh moonlight-scented witch. Glad to have you here. Kinda not sure what the stream schedule is gonna be like necessarily in the future. I was trying to stream more often to, like, get through this game, but I may stream something else, at least for a little bit before hopping into the DLC, just to, I don't know, give people who haven't been watching the whole playthrough something to watch. Zuli's fan has asked, what were you thinking of streaming next? Honestly, not sure. Might try to... I don't know. I don't necessarily, like, promise anything. I guess it's not, like, too much of a thing to say, even if it doesn't work out. I was thinking about maybe trying to get another, like, Night Rain thing with, like, some friends. Oh, thank you for the super chat, MB2001. Good luck, Miss Batog number Z. And thank you for the super chat, Bagel Eater. Bagel for you. Remember not to skip leg day. Someone has asked, please tell me, was the ring in the chalice hidden for the one phrase from the Queen of the 100-Blooded, and that's it? Like in Bloodborne, the ring for the... Yeah, the only function for the ring in Bloodborne is to show it to Queen Anastasia and get turned down. If I remember correctly. One thing that'd be good about doing some Night Rain streams is that that's a game that I'm not gonna be, like, thinking about as much. Like, kind of all the stuff you need to think about during Night Rain is already deeply grooved into my brain. And so I'll be a bit more relaxed, maybe. I said, what a crazy world it would be if they didn't get turned down. You kind of, there's like kind of a progression. Because you get a ring and get to offer it to the Queen in Bloodborne and get turned down. And then you get a ring in Elden Ring and offer it to Ronnie and she accepts. They're getting closer and closer to a dating sim. I guess let's move forward. Lame Lurker has asked, what happens in Dark Souls 3? You get a ring, and the ring is also a sword, and you stab your partner in the face with it. And that's the on request line. So, you know, that, I guess that kind of counts. Oh. This, I assume, is the real Sophia.
Oh, God.
It hurts so much. I want to be free. Please.
What do we do? I don't know. I can't make this choice. I think she wants to live, but what will you do? You have to decide. You, not me. Keep her alive, perhaps against her wishes, or give her peace. It's your call.
Thank you. I was trapped for so long. So much torment. So much pain. Take my ergo. I will be with you to the very end.
Well, that was a little sudden, but only because we left off. That's kind of a look with the like white outfit. That was kind of a strange moment to have Jiminy like pipe in. I guess it's for like, I don't know, a weird way to kind of like, I don't know, communicate the moment to the player, but like, weird that he's like, I can't make this choice. It's like, Jiminy, nobody was asking you to. Shadow flower. I think of you while waiting in the rain. Take me away as I am exhausted in the dark. Shadow flower. Shadow flower. The tears of the blue fairy, locked in the glass bird cage. Her true power was the ability to move time. Kind of curious with that, like I get kind of the implication of being part of, you know, the main character story, but like I'm curious what that means that they were like actively using her for. I guess that means that, well, I was gonna say that maybe the version of her that we saw that she said wasn't real was like a time displaced thing, but no, it was like a thing that nobody in the hotel noticed her. I don't know. Someone said, was Jiminy ever a real person? I guess that's an interesting question. I don't know if he's like a little Ergo powered cricket. So he could be like someone's actual awakened Ergo. Thank you for the super chat, Cola Cherry. Just wanted to say thank you for the fun streams. Thank you for following along in them. I've seen your name quite often. Thank you for the super chat, Piotr Saluski. Which is such a thing my hair would turn gray too, if I weren't gray haired already. Yeah, that's fair. My blue fairy. Someone's mentioned Sophia also appears in the room with the Saintess of Mercy statue, which is only accessible behind a locked door. I guess that is a bit of a hint. You kind of don't question her being there, because it's like, she's the firekeeper equivalent of the game. But it is like, why is she there? Someone's asked, what imagery is your mask/outfit based off of? Seen it a lot, no see art, but I'm not sure where it comes from. Somewhere specific. It's just kind of a sun and moon aesthetic. Specifically for this game, there's like a bunch of characters that have like animal masks. And so I wanted to do something like that. And then I had the idea that like I could use the ears as like a canvas to have a big sun and moon symbol. And then the sun side could be like sleepy, because it's a bat. And said, wasn't she rewinding time every time you die? I guess if that makes sense, with like, I think a clock shows up when you die. This is kind of a weird place to just put like a random upgrade material. I guess it's to show that these things here are moonstones. I'm sad not having a like a binoculars item to be able to look at this better. And there's also the pocket watch that she gives you. Pocket watch imbued with mystical power. The power of the watch turns back time to when the boy was in peak condition. Yeah, I guess they do just kind of tell you.
We did do the right thing, didn't we? I trust you. Let's keep going.
Mm. It's kind of funny to just have that emotional moment. And then these guys are just kind of standing here. Now. Thank you for the super chat. Bagel eater. Says bagel emoji. I want Denny's. I don't have any here. Oh. This is another guy that just got shoved in a wall. Thank you for the super chat. MB 2001. Sophia being a blue child / Ruriko was obvious before, but doubly so with the encounter. Is that like something in the data or like a reference? I got that she's like the blue fairy from the Pinocchio story. Also, again, what was that guy doing in here? Whoa. Thank you for the super chat. Basic Knight. Ooh, it has returned with bread. I thought that this was going to be like an elevator thing. Oh, probably an elevator. Comes down later. Someone was asked, how long did she take on Laxasia? I think about an hour. Took, I believe 11 tries. The boss that has killed me the most out of any in the game, for sure. They have like the way that the tubes on their the tubes on their nose seem kind of designed to give the impression of like a little mustache. Why are there these random cowboy guys? Weird guys. Hmm. They keep getting paired with the explosive guys. Just so far, kind of a strange roster of enemies for like the final area. I guess this is like like a thing that the petrification disease captures people's life in ergo crystals. This is, I guess, like someone's kind of like the skull cap. Have you seen some of the carcasses of like a set of antlers, kind of like this? This is like the crystallized remains of someone's brain and has their life in it. And that's what they power puppets with. Kind of messed up. Got another quartz. The idea of stabbing someone and opening the umbrella inside of them is a bit... It's kind of morbid to think about. Somehow I haven't really thought about it until just now. Another thing that I would kind of like to have binoculars for. I'm curious if this is like if Krot is somewhere in these areas, or this is supposed to be like all of Krot. If you could map this to something specific, or if this is like, could I guess potentially be this area, like this island that we rode the submarine to. Thanks for the super chat. NB2001. How is the story plus gameplay compared to Bloodborne? I think the gameplay is like... I don't know if I want to like... The gameplay has been pretty good. I don't know about necessarily like comparing it one to one, but I haven't also, like I kind of haven't been fully engaging with the combat in that I never really learned how to parry. but I would say it's like reasonably close. In terms of the story, there's like I think that this game is not as confident in the player as From Software games are. Or rather, From Software is like okay with people kind of missing things or not getting it. It's like, we're gonna have the information available and it's gonna be up to you to put it together. And this game seems a little more concerned with like making sure that the player knows what's going on and like communicating the story to them in a more direct fashion. It's like not quite as subtle. A little bit. Like I was saying with like Jiminy piping in earlier to be like, wow, this is a really important choice. Make sure you choose the right thing. And then kind of like, and like, I think she wants to live. And then immediately saying, maybe we keep her alive against her wishes. He's like, kind of not even being consistent. He's kind of like giving you an out for thinking that either reason is the correct one, I guess. It's like a little weird moment. It's not to say that it's like a bad thing, but it is a little bit like unsubtle. It's like making sure the player is like, I don't know, on the same page. That and like there's like I think that one of the reasons that a lot of bosses in the Souls series don't talk to you is that it could get a little silly if they did. Like if you fought Pontiff and he kind of explained everything that was going on with him while you were fighting him, it'd come across maybe a little cheesy. But but they're like uncomfortable doing that in this game. Alright. Well, I'm glad that he was willing to come over here. I didn't notice they have kind of the same thing of like, it almost feels like the nose, like the hoses in their nose are made to look like mustaches. I don't know, again in all of this, it's not that like being less subtle is necessarily like a bad thing, but it's I don't know, gives it a different feeling to it, I guess. I feel like I've noticed that it takes me like a minute to kind of fully get into the game, and like right now I'm just kind of like roaming through it and walking through questions, and I'm like not fully immersed in the moment. Someone said, I do think more humanoid bosses in From Software should have talked a bit, but didn't due to budget. I mean, I doubt that it's like due to budget specifically. There's like a little bit of there's like some stuff that I feel like may have been potentially like kind of a confluence of a budgetary decision and a stylistic decision, in that like the choice to have demon souls only voiced in English and to have like little to no ambient background music. These are things that are like stylistically important to how Demon Souls feels to play and like the mood of it. And their reasoning for like only ever having English dialogue is to like match with the aesthetic of it being like knights and castles and dragons and such. But at the same time, only having your game voiced in English and having barely any background tracks is really good for the budget of the game. It's like something that's probably as much a budgetary consideration as it is stylistic. It's hard for that to it's kind of hard to tell where one half begins and the other ends, etc. But that being said, I don't think that like the reason that Pontiff doesn't talk to you is a budgetary consideration. That feels very deliberate to me. I don't know why I was expecting a more like dramatic moment to find her.
Ciao, Bello. I had a feeling you were no ordinary kid, but I never expected to meet you here. It's a trivial matter. Everything is trivial in this part of the business, reward or no reward. The reason for kidnapping someone, or for blocking your path here. But if some audacious behavior helps my brother see again, that's a different story. In all honesty, I don't want to fight. Not you, at any rate. For one, it's a damned hassle. And why should I go out of my way to satisfy an employer who didn't pay me enough? It's not too late. We don't have to fight. Just show me some kindness, and I might change my mind. Thank you. This much? It might even cure him entirely. It's not fair, the way I've been harassing you. You're the only one who's ever been kind to us. I swear on my life as a stalker that your father is safe. My employer promised not to harm him. Go on then. Go to him. Geppetto's waiting. I never even introduced myself. I'm Claudia. If only we had been friends from the start. But I suppose it wasn't possible. We were both protecting something, and those things weren't compatible. We didn't fit together. Hurry. Please. Go to your family.
I was wondering if I could get the camera like in her mask, but no, she just dithers entirely. I'm curious if like you can kind of see like a little bit under there. I'm curious if it's like an actual face in there or not.
Go on. Go see your father.
Hmm? And I guess I should remember to look at the mask. The mask worn by the Red Fox. It is a mask of the aristocrats, crafted with sophistication and refinement. After turning back on her house, her sole interest was her younger brother she had found on the streets. She had sensed the boy's guilt long before, but she accepted him as her sole family. Oh. That's an interesting detail. So the cat mask Before the boy who had lost his sight closed his eyes for the last time, he thought of how he had lied, that he was her lost younger brother, how much he wished that it had been the truth. She sensed his guilt, but accepted him as family. So I guess it's implying that she knew the whole time. Fun little bit, I guess, of the whole thing of, like, a big part of the game has been lying in a way that softens the blow, or is kind to other people, or we told lies that ended up actually being true. And so I guess they kind of did that. Someone said Kat killed her real brother and then stole his identity, and she never called him out on it. The impression that I was getting is that she never had a real brother to begin with. He just pretended to be the whole time. And she, like, knew that he wasn't actually related to her by blood, but chose to be family. And then that kind of parallels the whole thing of, like, telling a lie that ends up being true. Hi, Dad. Somebody said that I needed to, like, look out for windows. So I don't know if I've, like, missed anything. We'll just leave him in there for a bit. He seems like he's doing fine. I don't know. I guess let's not worry too much about it. It said kind of looked like an illusionary wall. I don't know if this game has had illusory walls. And again, you know, that'd be very From Software, or very Souls community, just in front of every random wall. Hey, that looks like an illusionary wall. You should try. This one's definitely an illusory wall. Everything's an illusory wall. What's up? How they been treating you?
It saddens me to see my precious son in a place like this. I wanted you to grow up as a good boy in a peaceful world. And yet, I think all I've taught you is blood and violence. This will be the last time I ask. I promise. Simon has gone completely mad. He's trying to become a god by using a tremendous amount of ergo. I don't know what kind of world he wants to build. Perhaps there's no stopping him. I trust you, my son, and I'm ready for any outcome. But I don't know what you think of me. Speak truthfully, for my sake. Was I a trustworthy father to you? I see. I have the courage to carry on because of you. Put an end to it all. And come back to your father's side. Remember the happy family we once were. We can become that again.
See, I was curious about it, because it's like, it's been consistently, I think, whether the lie is like for the other person's sake rather than for yours. And so, telling him that was for his own benefit rather than mine. And so I got the heart pounding message that way. Key obtained from Geppetto. It grants access to the Cradle of the Gods at the summit of the Arch Abbey. Simon Manus did not want any interruptions in completing his grand enterprise. This enterprise was a ridiculous plan to bring God back to life. Why did they give this to him? Why did he have this? Geppetto. Weren't you in prison? Why did you have this?
Put an end to it all, son.
Kind of makes me wonder if that's like a thing that they thought through, or just kind of, you know, they needed to make sure that you talked to him before moving forward. So they put a locked door that he had the key to. This is a ladder platform. Goes up somewhere, presumably. Thank you for the super chat to MB2001. Level design's a little weird. Yeah, I guess so. Thank you. Thanks for that. Just, outskilled, I guess. You know, sometimes you just have to recognize when they're better than you. Hey, friend. Well, I guess that's, you know, a lesson about facing. Kind of one of the more embarrassing deaths of the playthrough. I hope that it was at least funny. Died to this weird, random cowboy guy. His twin brother is also here. You think you're so funny. What the hell? Why are you allowed to walk on the air? That was also a weird interaction. He like did the flashing thing to go to explode, and then he just kinda didn't. The ledges here are strange. Thank you for the super chat, MB2001. Okay, I was talking about Geppetto having the key for the door outside his cell. Falling off was bad timing. Maybe it was good timing. Chat seemed to enjoy it. Hey, friend. So they don't explode if you kill them with a backstab. Hmm. You have to, like, jump to get there. I don't see anywhere, like, above it to drop down. Hmm. Is that somewhere that I can get to currently? Oh, okay. Well, I don't like it, but ended up not too bad. Assassin's Amulet. Increases critical attack. They believe the reputation they earned from working behind the scenes in the underworld would be eternal. However, fame is useless before the gallows. Alright, made it across. And then almost accidentally rolled off. The area so far being like tight corridors and ledges and everything, like I guess I get the vibe that they were going for, but it's a weird way to like up the difficulty instead of just like stronger things to fight. Someone's asked, what happened to Zuli? I assume that you mean the mask. It's like thematic for the game. Not sure.
Did you feel that? It's like someone walked across my grave. I sense ergo everywhere. I mean, this place is saturated with it. Like what you'd expect from a mountain of dead puppets.
Mm-hmm. Right, that's right. This is where we came from. I didn't think that you aggroed. Couldn't tell initially if this is like... Typically when you see these little platforms, it's because there's a ladder above them. But then there's just some of them like stacked up against the thing here. So that's probably not an actual ladder thing. It feels a little likely that there's somewhere to drop down or something. But I haven't noticed anything so far. Unless that's something. That kind of doesn't look right. I don't think I trust it. Someone said to go back to the ladder you just climbed. Oh yeah, I guess there's that. Well, loved that a little bit, but not fatally. Okay, so like right here probably. All of that for a star fragment. All right. The canisters on his back are yellow. Like a disruption guy. Yep. Feel free to come back out here. I've been there before. Trying to throw projectiles and you just hit the wall. What are you doing? I'm sick of you. Weird guy. This looks like the kind of thing where something mean might happen. Strangely, no. That looks like something you could jump to. And then down there. But why would I want to? Trying to see if there's maybe like a shortcut first. I'm curious if I should try it. It also feels like it could just be set dressing and I die instantly. Seeing a lot of people say don't. That's just like a little bit deceptive. It reminds me of those like a spot in Bloodborne where they had like a floor below an elevator, and it looked survivable. And if you jumped down there, you would die instantly. And so eventually they just made it like a bottomless elevator. Thank you for the super chat. Germa's strongest soldier. You think people tend to compare things with the notion that one must be better than the other too often. Love the streams, by the way. That is an interesting question to ask, yeah. I could see how that could, like, be a bias of, like, people thinking the main reason to compare things is to come to a conclusion about which is better. But yes, I'm a little curious if, like, in this scenario, for the most part, people have been asking, like, to compare this to Bloodborne. And I don't know if that's necessarily to ask, like, is this better than Bloodborne? As opposed to, like, I guess some amount of comparison is just to, like, actually genuinely be like, is this more like this or like other thing? It's like, is this a game that is like Bloodborne in terms of the gameplay? Which, I'm honestly not sure if I would say that it is fully. Like, I get a lot of the comparison, but it's a little bit in the enemy design, like not just in how the player acts, but how the combat is also somewhat dependent on just how the enemies behave. And I don't know that I feel like the enemies necessarily behave like Bloodborne enemies. Like, sure, you have the little hunter dodge, etc., but I don't think that by itself is actually that similar. I, Adriana, recorded for the brothers and sisters. Praise Pistrus, the one who will swallow even God. Listen, my brothers and sisters. I, Pistrus, shall tell you about true eternal life. An angel's gift was something humans dare not enjoy. Many humans died with hope in their hearts. And the ones who lived harbored rage instead of death. Eventually, humans destroyed and burned their hope on their own. That is how the angel became the god torn to death. But today, there are definitely those who survived with the blessing. They, the immortal ones, still walk around and wish for the resurrection of God. I clearly told the truth I witnessed. Now you shall all follow this path. So, the angel became the torn god. I'm assuming that this is something to do with the one-winged angel that's been mentioned a couple times. Thank you for the super chat, MB2001. Perhaps the better question is this game a worthy spiritual successor to Bloodborne? You can stretch, like, being a spiritual successor to something is like a term that you can stretch pretty far. I don't know that I would, like... It depends a little bit on who's saying it, how much they'll agree with it, I think. I don't know that I would necessarily say that it is specifically a spiritual successor to Bloodborne myself. Simon Manus' confession. The father is like God to his son. Even I, Simon, was no different in my youth. But the one who created me was no normal human, and my abilities were extraordinary. You're a failure too. The ability to read minds, being abandoned in front of God meant the world's destruction. From then on, my life existed to make a world without lies. A world where no one betrays you and there's only truth, even if it's forced. Now the finale is here. Once the door is open, it can't be closed. Humankind, I, Simon, gave up being human and decided to walk the path of immortality and the truth. My body will be broken and reformed as the god that was torn apart. I leave this record in my last moments as a human. Simon Pistrus Manus. Interesting. I guess that's... He's gonna be like a big, gloopy guy, isn't he? Not like a human boss fight. Oh, H-Bomber guy said, it's very good, but I'm glad it's so not like Bloodborne after being so openly inspired in its marketing. Yeah, I think that it's better for like other games to not just be chasing the tails of From Software. Like, it's different in a lot of ways that are important, and I think that it's better that they let it be different. Thank you for the super chat, the great Fezzo. No mercy for the ergo drunk alchemist, and no mercy for God. Someone said, I've always taken spiritual successor to mean something created by the original creators of the thing being succeeded. I don't know if that's necessarily the case. I think that there's a lot of things that have been poised as like spiritual successors to a thing that the creators were like fans of, rather than like necessarily having a like direct lineage to. Let's see. What else should I get? I'm only getting 8 HP per level at this point. I don't think we need more capacity. Guess let's just get a little more technique. Do I have enough for another level? Nope. Okay. Well, that should be good enough for now. We have to hope. Oh, hi, Pineapple. That's pretty much what I find myself repeating all the time when it comes to Souls-likes. Be different and have your own thing rather than just trying to emulate. Yeah, I think that that's really important for like the progression of the genre. I don't think it'd be good for everyone to just be like, we tried our best to make Dark Souls 4. I think that the thing that'll make a different game shine is like the things that the different people are bringing to the table. Like even From Software has never been like super married to one format. Just look at like Sekiro or Night Rain as like they're willing to like stretch the lines pretty far out. Oh, and I guess we're going like straight into the final fight here. So, I think that I'm actually going to take a moment to go to the bathroom. So, I'll leave you with white-haired Timothy Chalamet. Alright, I'm back. H-Bomber guy said, I didn't get the white hair. I did something wrong. Apparently it's like, if I understand correctly, I was told, I got spoiled a little bit of like, there's something that'll change about your character that will visibly denote this. And so I was kind of expecting something like this. Kinda said, Zuli, if you beat this first try, I'm gonna actually be upset, by the way. Well now, really gotta do it, huh? Let's see. Trying to think based on like what we have been fighting, what might come up. Thanks for the super chat. Basic Knight who has sent even more bread. Let's see. Something makes me feel like he might be a decay guy. If he's just like, well, actually, I guess I don't know. It'll all just be like a guessing game. Well, it's just kind of... I guess let's just go for it.
Is it not magnificent? Distilled immortality and a key that opens a world with no lies. A key that unlocks true evolution. Give thanks. Ergo is a gift from me, Simon Manus, who will transgress even God. Bow down to your God, who will be born now!
Something's wiggling under that cloth. That's a phase 2 thing. There's one thing I noticed like immediately about his character design, which is that like you notice it a lot in From Software stuff with them having like a character who has a big body but like a small head. And he has like a proportional head and it makes him look a little comical. I wasn't expecting a follow-up from that. I'm expecting a second health bar off of this guy. Well, seems to be having a lot of fun over there. What?
This is evolution. Behold, as I discard this fragile body. Witness me as I grasp the power of a true god.
Oh, of course. One ring, I have to imagine. The creation of man reference, naturally. I've just been kind of letting him hit me there. Trying to get a sense for the timings and just not doing them. I should probably, at some point, consider using my shield. Kinda got me in the corner here. Very close there. And this is still quite close. Uh-oh. Oh, okay. Like the hitbox for that attack doesn't begin where I think it does. Well, as if there was any other way to do it.
So, it comes to this. The Blue Fairy, Sophia, decides the winner. Truly, I envy you. The puppet, my Sophia, keeps turning back time to save. Is it her sense of duty, or her contempt for me? Or does she truly care for you? I gave up predicting Sophia's actions long ago. But I'd like to hear your thoughts. Sophia, what have you done to her? Yes, I suppose that was her wish. Sophia was always wise beyond her years. Knowing the truth of people's minds is a curse. I would not have been able to bear it if it weren't for Sophia. Her pure heart was a tonic for my pain. That's why I wanted her. I did. But I couldn't have her in the end. So I tried to use this power to hold her. Even if these hands never could. It's fine if I'm gone. But be warned. Watch out for Geppetto.
Arm of God. The Arm of God obtained after defeating Simon Manus. It is a mysterious relic the alchemists treated as a sacred object. The alchemists believe that there was once a god who was ripped to shreds trying to give immortal life to the humans he so loved, and they wanted to revive him. However, the god who was deep in sleep never answered their prayers. Oh yeah, I did see that Pine said they did more damage on launch. I don't know if you know, I'm secretly like the most defensive that it's possible to be. I've like leveled up my capacity. I'm functionally like a Havel monster. With a shield and a poke weapon. I don't know. I've been told that they did, like, nerf the bosses a little bit, but I'm not sure by how much. let's get one last level. And then continue on to... I'm not sure if there's like another thing, or if this will just be the ending. Or... Okay. I did see that someone said King of Puppets had like twice as much health, and then I looked into it and saw someone else saying that just the first phase lost 25% health.
Becoming a god? Terrifying. But a puppet becoming a human, now you have my attention. Suit yourself, but sounds fun to me. I wonder, what'll happen now? I sure don't know. But I do know one thing. You're stuck with me, and I'm stuck with you, pal. Wouldn't have it any other way.
My code's doing something a little weird. Jiminy has been a bit of a weird character in that it's like...
That's...
Hi, Dad. Jiminy is like a little strange in that... it's like I get... Like, it makes sense to have a character like Jiminy because, you know, it's Pinocchio. He has to be here. But it's weird the moments that they choose to deploy him. Thanks for the super chat. Bean Dip. I played on easy because I'm a big boy with a full-time job who just wanted to experience the game. Yeah, Simon was kind of a pushover. Yeah, I, got through it. It felt a little tense. There were like a couple times where I got really close to dying, but it wasn't too bad. Pine says, yeah, he's a little weird because he's so absent most of the time. Yeah, if Jiminy were like staged more as you're conscious, yeah. If he were like actively your conscience, if he were actively like, I don't know, giving you his opinion on like your actions, that'd be something, but he usually just like cuts in for levity, it feels like, rather than it being like him doing his actual job. H Bomber Guy said, Jiminy sometimes says things that imply he might have an arc. I've been on one, but never happens or happened. Yeah, he's like a little bit... He's just a weird character. They just kind of drop him in at moments. It seems like something that they could have used a bit more carefully, and it would have had more impact. But the times that they have him cut in almost makes it feel like that they were not confident in what was going on, and they were like, we need a little spice on this. Let's add Jiminy. I don't know if that's necessarily the right spice to pick. Oh, I ran back to the Stargazer earlier for no reason. What's this? What are you up to?
I knew you could do it. We have all the ingredients we need. I dreamed of this day for so long. The moment you'd come back to life. You can be human again by using that vast supply of ergo in the arm of God. I just need the final ingredient. The one that holds your memories and your lifespan. Your heart. If you give me your heart, all these trials and tribulations will be over. You have been a brilliant and a good boy. As your reward, I shall turn you into a real boy. Give me your heart, son. Give me your heart.
I'm gonna go with no.
I believed you were a good boy. But you insist on breaking my heart. Well, I suppose Carlo was mischievous. It seems you inherited his personality instead of his memories. But a father always looks after his children. Even naughty ones that must be punished, like you. In my own way, I grew to love you. After all, you're the puppet who would bring my son back to life. I'm disappointed in you. I didn't mean for this to happen. I believed you were a good boy. If you refuse, then I'll have to retrieve it myself. My son.
Oh. I wasn't expecting the face to look like that.
You can become a real human. Come to me, my son. I never bound you to the Grand Covenant like the other puppets because of Carlo's memories within you. I know you have gone astray, you troublesome little puppet.
Some of his moves feel like Romeo's moves. I'm not sure if that's anything or it's just like
Your freedom is not for you.
a boss designed by similar designers.
To resort to the lash, but there's no other way. If you can't find those memories, I'll make you into a real human myself. After I lost you, nothing but regret. If only I had spent more time with you. If only I had read your favorite book, Father to Son.
You just heal. Mean.
Forgive me, Carl. Please regain me. You break my heart, son. Come back to my arms. me. Come back to me, Carlo.
This is definitely gonna have another phase, huh? Oh, don't be a disruption guy.
How dare you? You're just a puppet. Nothing more.
Whoa. Okay. Eugenia, not right now. This is gonna sound like a bit of an excuse, but like, got a bunch of like tension in my shoulders after that. Need to stretch a little bit first. Alright. Well, back to this. Someone said, what is she doing? If you use a pulse cell, it gives you back some of that blue bar up there. So I was using it to refill it by just using all of my pulse cells.
You can become a real human. Come to me, my son.
It's a little bit like with Laxasia, where I was like,
I never bound you to the grand covenant like the other puppets.
the way that I've been getting away with it up to this point is by having such a tanky build that I'm able to like survive to use all of my heals and then like farm more. And that doesn't work so well if the enemy just has like enough aggression or damage to kill you. Well, you still have heals. Ah, dodged it.
Is not for you. Carlo. Resort to flash, but there's no other way.
Synchronized.
If you can't find those memories, I'll make you a real human myself. After I lost you, my life was full. How dare you? You're just a puppet. Nothing more.
Whoa. Oops. It's not on the heel. Give me one moment to myself, please. Not quite done. So how about another one?
Were you going to destroy Carlos' heart? Sorry. Son.
I saw some people say they weren't sorry for him, but like, I kind of still am. Like, I can see the angle, but that's like a little sympathetic. The thing that kind of fell apart for Geppetto here is that he didn't seem to register that at a certain point the puppet became a real boy already. Like, wanted his son back and didn't realize he had already gotten it. I mean, he's still like a villain and like probably a bad person, but like I can get the sympathetic angle.
It's so good to see you.
Someone said, grief is not an excuse, but it's a reason. Yeah, I get that that's... I guess also, yeah, admittedly, I can understand no sympathy for him when he's responsible for the puppet frenzy. Like, he decided that he was going to kill a lot of people for his son specifically. When it's like, seems like it wouldn't have been necessary to do that at all. Like, he could have just built the puppet as we know him, and then Isurgo would have awakened. Just altogether very misguided. Someone said, wait, she's done? I just got here. Yeah, in retrospect, maybe I could have done all of this last stream, after all. I kind of expected. There are a couple people in chat that said it would be like another 2 or 3 hours of just the level, and that did not turn out to be the case at all. But, I settled into like a really awkward position while doing that fight. I think that that's where the like shoulder pain is coming from. I'm just not a very well put together person physically. H. Fulmer said, you might not have seen it, but if you die to the puppet at the Stargazers, there's a give heart option to get the bad ending. That's interesting. Like, if you hit a wall on the Nameless Puppet, you can decide to just go along with it. Lydia said there's a bit of things you could still do. Oh, that's right, I heard about this. There's like a boss rush thing you can go do, and I'd be able to see the dialogue from some of the puppets that had their dialogue scrambled initially. And there's, of course, the record from Sophia. I forgot to, like, go back to the hotel and listen to that. At the moment, I'm just trying to move my shoulders around and hope that the tension comes out. Backseat Streams has asked, so with the base game done, how do you feel about it? Personally, this feels like it stands on its own and elevates beyond any clone status. Well, yeah, it's like, at a point, you know, you had, way back in the day, Doom, and then every shooter was a Doom clone for a long time. It's just referred to as a Doom clone. But eventually it's just a genre. Like, this is just in the same genre. Not necessarily like a clone at this point. In terms of like what I think about it, I enjoyed the combat and, like, for the most part, the level design. There wasn't anything that, like, felt really bad to go through. There's a bit of a debate on, like, it is a very linear game, but I don't know that linearity is necessarily, like, a bad thing. It's like, having linearity lets you have more of a hand on the wheel for what a given player's playthrough is going to look like. As compared to, like, if you have a bunch of different areas you could go to, and they're all kind of balanced around the idea that you could go to any of them, then once you've done a couple of them, the other ones are going to be, like, much easier. Whereas, like, linearity will let you be like, we would expect the player to be roughly, like, this level for this part. And I think that that's, like, I can see the appeal of it. It's definitely, like, an easier thing to do. And I can imagine, like, why it took them so long, like, why it took From Software so long to get to, like, Elden Ring, where there is, like, so much different stuff you could do at any given moment. And then, like, comparatively for this studio, who's doing, like, their first one, then, it makes sense to do this approach. Zuli's fan has said, I think super chats from Cola Cherry aren't coming through. Not, like, seeing one. Usually, when there's, like, a super chat, it's, like, visible up in the top of the thing, even if I missed it in the actual chat, so... Or at least there's, like, a notification of it, rather. Like, I wouldn't be able to read it at the moment, but I'd be able to click to read it. Not sure. All in all, I think that it was, like, definitely I'd say, you know, like, a good game. I'm not very good at, like, picking favorites or comparing the actual quality of a thing to one another. So I don't know if I'd be like, oh, this is as good as whichever of the Soul series, you know? But I think that it stands on its own. So I don't think you need to necessarily go like, oh, this is of the same quality or better or whatever. It is just a good game that stands on its own, in my opinion. I also went through, like, almost all of it with just the same weapon and only dodging. So I feel like if I wanted to replay it, the linearity would be kind of cut, or could be cut a little bit by picking playing a very different style of character. There is a certain amount that, like, even having a different weapon doesn't necessarily change how you play too much, because you're probably always going to be like the light dodge kind of fast-paced character, but it probably does enough to, like, keep replayability in spite of the linearity. Personally, I don't know that, like, if I had played it in my own time, I don't know that I necessarily would be, like, looking to replay it just casually again, but I haven't honestly done that much for the Soul series either. Like, the one that I've replayed the most is Bloodborne, which is famously one of the ones that people say is worse for replaying. So I think that's kind of funny. But I've only done, I want to say, like, 3 genuine playthroughs of Dark Souls 1.
I have a final report on the Krot experiment.
You certainly took your time, Paracelsus. Your findings?
I think we have a new brother. A new type of humanity, so to speak.
There are many forms of eternal life.
It's intriguing, and worth further observation.
Noted. And we'll have to get his arm back anyway.
I'm counting on it. Expect another report at the next meeting. Paracelsus returning. Ah, And when I return, I will find her. For sure. Another key of ours. Dorothy.
Dorothy? Like, the Wizard of Oz? Yeah, very much like the Wizard of Oz. What? I guess that's a sequel. How interesting. You're gonna return to the hotel. Oh, that's a strange direction to go in. But I guess it's kind of not actually. Boss rematch. Yeah, okay. This is the thing that I'd heard about. I'm kind of curious if that, like if the central mechanic of this is lying, because it's about Pinocchio, kind of what would be the angle for the Wizard of Oz, comparatively? Like, I don't know if they'll keep up with the lies of something. Also, was Paracelsus Jonjo? What was the one that we got? Honestly, don't remember. Shadow Flower. The Golden Lie. The mystical wooden rod obtained from the boy's portrait. Fascinatingly, it extends and retracts at the whim of Geppetto's puppet. There are two kinds of lies. Yours is the lie that makes your nose long. The boy loved the fairy tale about the wooden puppet's adventure. At least the wooden puppet's father was kind. Got a lot bigger. Oh, the cat. This is better than I realized. I didn't know the cat had. Like, I thought I was just gonna pick it up and wiggle it again. I love you, the cat. The Letter of the Eternal. I had a good time. Amazing to see a new brother being born. I hope to meet you again sometime on the eternal line of time. And I'm not saying that. My nose has gotten quite a bit longer in my shadow. Imagine if that did just happen to his actual character model. That's how I had it before.
I've made up my mind. Someone needs to tell everyone out there what happened. Thanks for all your help.
Is anyone gonna have like special voice lines? Oh. Restart. Boss rematch.
Welcome to Hotel
It is notable if they're doing like, this was Pinocchio, they're doing The Wizard of Oz.
I've made up my mind.
This is Belle,
I am going
like
to keep living.
Beauty and the
To
Beast,
honor
Belle.
Atkinson's sacrifice. Someone needs. Thanks for all your help.
You have been such a great help to us.
This great disaster, the Krat crisis, has left no one unaffected. But it's over now, thanks to you. We are all in pain. We're all hurting. But now it's time to begin healing. I will do everything I can to help. Together, compagno, I think we really can make Krat, if not the entire world, a better place.
Thank you for the super chat, Revi Levy. Paracelsus, or Philippus von Hohenheim, was a real-life alchemist associated with the occult and inspired such things as Full Metal Alchemist. Okay.
So much has happened. It's bewildering. But it feels like there is hope. Even here in godforsaken Krat. It's all because of you. So thank you. Though I suspect you haven't told me everything. I just want safety. That's why I should...
Yeah, I never actually... I don't think I looked at it. But the Arm of God. Where was that? Oh wait, no. I did look at that.
Oh, did I scare you?
Oh.
It's me, Hugo. This whole thing has inspired me. I'm going to try to be the Aladoro of a new generation. I will also keep looking for the relic's true owner. Check in with me anytime. A great weapon calls for a great... Sorry, no, pronouncements aren't my thing. As always, prove that you're worthy.
He did also get a bit taller. They just gave him Alidoro's model. Well, Alidoro, in quotation marks. His sad zealot, Laxasia. Ouroboros' eye, a moon sword that was lying asleep in the Arch Abbey. They say this weapon was handcrafted by a legendary alchemist, Philippus Paracelsus. Philippus Paracelsus is a legend even among the alchemists. The moon sword he made by modeling the Ouroboros mark symbolized wholeness. A mystical cudgel made from an ergo crystal tree, and battering enemies that emit spores, increasing the ergo acquisition rate. The stalker who desired wealth made a contract with the devil that liked music to gain a cudgel. Along with this, he was gifted with overflowing ergo and the petrification disease. The stalker who desired wealth. Not sure who this is. Nameless Puppet's ergo. Pretty direct one. The giant scissor blade used by the Nameless Puppet is a double-edged sword that can end one's freedom or grant it by cutting the strings of manipulation. Puppets are tied to strings. Humans have cut their own strings. The boy made a choice and became human. I'm a little curious. Like, the Nameless Puppet seemed a bit fleshy. I couldn't tell if, like, is the bit that it was supposed to be, like, Carlo's original body? And just, like, kinda really messed up. But, like, being used as a puppet. I'm curious if that's, like, the decision it made to destroy the heart, like it attempting to destroy the heart, was because it like didn't have awareness or because it did, and like, I don't know, was trying to free Carlo. I don't know. Impregnable Fortress's amulet. You don't lose durability on guarding. She hoped to become Simon's sword and perfect shield. When she was finally complete as Laxasia, she chose to become the Iron Armor Warrior without hesitation. Thanks for the super chat. Il Paglacio Driste. The train car workshop implies that, yeah. Awakened God Amulet. Increases Fable Art damage inflicted on a staggered enemy. That sounds very narrow. A little bit. When God awakens, he will be like a bird who has just cracked open his shell. He will possess tremendous abilities that can change the world, yet be as innocent as a child. Among Simon Manus' sayings. Piercing Hatred Amulet. Immunity to, like, all status ailments. Interesting. Except for disruption. It is unknown whether the Nameless Puppet had an ego. It's because multiple cores holding concentrated ergo were used to boost its firepower. If the puppet could feel only one emotion, it would be hatred. Well, that makes sense. So, if it had any sort of awareness, it was hatred for its own existence. I guess that would explain a bit. And then the actual description of the ergo themselves. Oh, we heard about this already. The alchemist Adriana was baptized by the elixir, and she became the first whole being. Everything about her was perfect, except the fact that her feelings for one person could not be erased. We'd heard about Adriana before. I didn't get in the moment that she was also Laxasia. It was like a new name for her. Ergo obtained from Simon Manus, awakened god. The boy was among those who were made to live an immortal life. However, he was deemed a failure and abandoned, and then he set out on a journey to become a god to prove himself. Among those who were made to live an immortal life. So like Simon. I'm not sure I know what that's implying he was. But I guess that means kind of like they were talking about immortal life in the ending stinger. So I guess a similar thing to whatever Paracelsus was, or rather is. He wasn't immortal, he could just read minds. Oh, that's why he was a failure. I see. Ergo obtained from the Nameless Puppet. The Nameless Puppet was the first puppet the old man made that was mounted with a P organ. The ergo efficiency was not just unremarkable, it was destructive. Thus the Nameless Puppet was not chosen for the boy's body, and was sealed away. And then another letter up here. The Blue Butterfly's letter. Thank you for giving me a new life. The fact that an ergo puppet can have a second life and become another kind of human requires more time for people to find out about. Until then, I won't return to the hotel, but plan to stay at this place. The Krot disaster has stopped. Still, there's the aftermath of the petrification disease and the puppets. Please heal the wounds for the people. You're the reason we have our freedom. Thank you so much. I'm grateful you freed me from my puppet strings. So I guess Sophia, like, it was kind of obvious in, like, the ending scene. She had, like, the joints and everything. She was, like, a puppet that was similarly becoming human, I guess. Visions of sadness. I guess there's kind of nothing ambiently left to do. Someone has said I should play the piano. It is kind of glowing, suspiciously. I'm a little curious if you could, like, whip the camera around, if they animated the fingers to be playing the keys, or if they did that camera angle very specifically so they wouldn't have to. Let's see. Let's look at the dialogue now that it's like visible, to my understanding. And let's see. I don't remember who is weak to what. That's whatever. Okay, it is not visible now. We're kind of just beating this guy up for no reason. Seems to do quite a bit more damage and have quite a bit more health, which I guess, you know, it wouldn't be much of a rematch if he was just the same level when you fought him initially. I wasn't sure in the initial fight, like, at first I thought that he kind of had, like, some sort of frame under his head when he pulled his head off, but no, it looked like it's kind of just empty up there. Well, a little embarrassing. Thanks for the super chat. Cracked jabber. It's not no reason. It's practice and vengeance. Besides, it's a time-honored tradition to abuse previous bosses after you beat the game. I don't know if they're the ones getting abused. I can't believe I died to the first boss. Well, gonna have to give up the game. It is a little disappointing. I thought that you see the boss subtitles now. think the real problem is that I'm not, like, respecting it as a boss that'll do as much damage as it does. I'm just kind of treating it like it's gonna be a joke. Well, got a little greedy on that. You could have given the king a real festival. You can kind of still read it. Someone said, I think she needs to build more into damage. Yeah, admittedly, like, the way that I have my character set up was always kind of like, low damage, but survivability. Which, probably, I don't know, probably fine either way. Someone said you can take the mask off now. Yeah, could do. We are just kind of unwinding here. I guess one thing to do. I had a lot of people express that they wanted me to listen to the record that I missed. So we can just like pop that open manually. believe it was feel.
Close your eyes, come to me, feel alright. Just dance with me all through the night, turn it out, close to you. I feel good, 'cause I just know feeling of you. Give it to me, baby. Feel alright. I feel good. Just want you step with me, dance with me, here with me, feel alright. I feel good on you. Alright. To make a groove all night. Close your eyes, come to me, feel alright. Just dance with me all through the night, turn it out, close to you. I feel good, 'cause I just know feeling of you. Give it to me, baby. Feel alright. I feel good. Just walk your step with me, dance with me, here with me, feel alright. I feel good on you. Alright. To make a groove all night. Feel alright. I feel good. Just want you step with me, dance with me. Feel alright. I feel good on you. Alright. Make a groove all night. Close your eyes, come to me. Close your eyes.
Yeah, that would have been like pretty fun one to have. I think the one that like, let's see, I don't remember them like by name very well. This is the one that when I think about the music in the game has been coming up for me, I suppose. Like, as I've said before, not great at picking favorites, but this is like the one that I have in my head. Someone said, "How did you miss it?" I assume you mean feel. I was told not to lie. Geppetto told me to tell the truth, and I went along with it, and it made me feel bad. Plus, I also just kind of panicked in the moment. Like, there was the options of whether to lie or to tell the truth, and I kind of didn't expect it in the moment. Because it was, I think, the first option where that came up, other than the hotel one. Thank you for the super chat, Cola Cherry. Dorothy's cool, but a Wonderland Souls. Yeah, like Alice in Wonderland stuff. I can see like a little bit of a... Like I can kind of see an in for Dorothy with the whole like the Tin Man and puppets. Like the Tin Man could be an ergo puppet, I guess. Let's see. So let's see. We've seen the animation, like from the cat on the couch, and up there, and up here. So kind of part of me wants to farm the animation of... We've yet to see what happens if we have maximum status with the cat. And she's over here. Annoyingly, it seems like just going back and forth, like teleporting in the hotel itself, doesn't work. You have to like leave and come back. Someone said there's something on the final balcony before the fight with Simon. Yeah, that's something worth looking into. I kind of went to the wrong place for that. Well, we'll go to the hotel and see if the cat is there. And if not, then leave again. Someone has asked, will you play Duskbloods? That is the intention. That's honestly kind of part of why, like, that's a thing that was on my mind to start streaming, was like, I don't know how well I'm gonna be able to like actively data mine the Duskbloods, because it'll be on the Switch too, but I could still like play it on a stream now to get some amount of public coverage on it. On this balcony? I guess I already got it. Someone said Zuli just used the watch to teleport to the hotel. We tried that earlier, and the cat seemed to just only stay in the same spot. Like if you use the watch inside of the hotel, like I did it 3 times in a row, and the cat was like up on the bookshelf thing the whole time, which was sad. It would have been good, convenient to be able to do it that way. Let's see. Still no luck. Someone said, I hope Duskbloods is, at worst, 1 year exclusive. There is the option that it could go like the Monster Hunter Rise route, but it's far from a guarantee. Like, I think that emotionally, you should brace yourself for the possibility that it doesn't leave the Switch 2 at all. Because it's like, my understanding, it was like fully funded by Nintendo. It wasn't just, you know. I can't remember if it has been advertised as like only on Switch 2 at this point, or has just been advertised on the fact that it'll be a Switch 2 thing. Someone said, pretty sure Nintendo themselves are publishing it. Could be wrong though. I think that it's one of those situations where it's like From Software is publishing it domestically in Japan and Nintendo is handling it elsewhere. Well, I'm not 100% sure on that. I know that From Software retained the IP for it this time. So it's still, like, it's theirs to do whatever with, theoretically. The IP at least. I don't know if the actual game will ever, like, you know, manage to make its way off of the Switch 2 though. It is also interesting that apparently it was not initially designed as a Switch 2 title. It was meant to release on the original Switch, and then eventually became a Switch 2 title. Which I'm a little curious, like, how much it's going to have been a Switch exclusive, like, like if it's functionally a Switch exclusive running on the Switch 2 for the most part, then like the optimization is probably pretty good, I'd imagine. Actually, I don't remember. Did we interact with you after I got maximum? You're just kind of looking down on me. Please, cat. Someone has asked, how do we know it was a Switch 1 game? They said it. They just straight up said it in an interview. It was, like, I'm curious kind of what sort of timeline it was initially planned to have for it to have been, like, this is going to be a Switch title. And then, like, if it ended up taking, like, a lot longer. It's also kind of interesting, the idea of them, like, having the Duskbloods being developed in the background while they were at the same time developing Night Rain. So those games are a little bit like, it doesn't sound like they will actually be super like similar. Wonderful, the cat. But they could step on each other's toes as like multiplayer focused From Software stuff. Ah, little baby. Love you. Someone said, Zuli, what's your favorite Pokemon? Theirs is Charmander. Mine is Zubat. More important than saving Krot or killing God. Picking up a cat. I think what's interesting about both the Duskbloods and Night Rain is that they're like, there's an interview where Miyazaki talks about like the concept of finding pockets of failure like opportunities to do something risky, in a way that won't hurt the company. And the way they did that with Night Rain was by leaning heavily on existing assets. So like the budget of the game was like a lot smaller, and then it has apparently like obscenely outperformed their expectations. So it turns out it was a huge success. All good. And then the Duskbloods, the way that they're like getting away with making a very experimental game is that it's being funded by Nintendo. And that's probably, like, that feels like an indication that it is probably an exclusive. Like, Nintendo probably wouldn't shell out a bunch of money enough to justify a game like that, only to then release it to everyone else only a year later. I'm a little bit like, you kind of do have to brace yourself for it to just be a Switch 2 exclusive forever. You know, sadly. But that's kind of been a big part of From Software's MO for like a while. Like Demon Souls being a pretty unusual title for them on Sony's dollar. And then Bloodborne being a big divergence from Dark Souls, again on Sony's dollar. Sekiro being like wildly different as well on Activision's dollar. And now the Duskbloods on Nintendo's dollar. So it's like a very prudent way of going about it, but a little rough in terms of like how it ends up making things like console exclusive and such. Thank you for the super chat, The Great Fezzo. I'm semi-convinced some design sensibilities from Duskblood snuck into Night Rain. Scholar and Undertaker feel sort of Victorian and Bloodborne-esque. There's an extent to which it's like, is that sensibility from the Duskbloods, or is that just sensibility from Software at this point? Like, people looked at Chester and were like, oh, this was clearly a Bloodborne guy. And then you find out he was actually cut content from day one. He'd like always been in the files of Dark Souls 1. So it's less like, oh, he was a Bloodborne guy the whole time, and more just like, that's kind of where From Software's head was at for a while. Bit of a rough one there. I've been talking continuously, or maybe a little too long. I'm gonna drink something real quick. Alright. Thank you all for saying bless you, but that was a fit of coughing more than sneezing. Well. I'd honestly kind of thought that all of the ending stuff would last a bit longer. So, I'm not sure. Like, the thing is, I don't necessarily want to, like, jump straight into the DLC. I think I may want to take a week off to, go visit Sophia. Like, in the, like after here, there's like something there. Quick, play through the entire DLC right now. You got time. First time each boss. You got this. I appreciate your confidence in me. It doesn't look like anything new happened here. After all. That I think it's the area right before the final boss, not there. Like the area before Simon or before the Nameless Puppet. Oh, just the portrait. Okay. Yeah, never mind. We did see the portrait then. Oh wait, someone said the letter. I won't return to the hotel, but plan to stay at this place. So, like, is she actually somewhere here? Or is this kind of just like, I guess I'd be surprised if there's an option to actually talk to her, because it's like, I had the option to, like, go straight to New Game Plus. So I'd be surprised if they, like, let you talk to her after, but only if you said no to going to New Game Plus right there. Honestly, I think that I'll just cut it off for now and maybe use that energy for streaming a little bit more or longer next time. Anyway, thank you all for coming by to watch the stream, and you know, I'm sorry that I didn't die more often. Could have made it last a lot longer. If I'd known that it would go that smoothly, could have just done it last stream. Anyway, I'll see you all next time. Thanks for stopping by, and have a good day. I don't have a formalized, like, send-off at the end of the stream yet, aside from just always saying bye-bye.